Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So we're only one day away from the official global release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and right now, Ubisoft's gotta be sweating because they need this game to succeed, and just when you think things just can't get any worse for them, it has. The last 2 days have been an absolute disaster for Ubisoft and this game, who by their own admission needs to succeed. We see Ubisoft devs here confirming this is a high stakes game they're playing with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where if the game performs moderately, they're in big trouble. And that's not too surprising. And also all this flies in the face of people who try to defend the second delay of this game, claiming they were trying to basically wait this out and let some of the controversy blow over. If that's the truth, that was a massive miscalculation, because over the past month, there's only been more controversy, including more controversy over the past 2 days that we're going to cover in this video. It's looking really grim for them. We're going to be talking about their attempts to basically weaponize their legal team to try to silence critics. They're also going around and punishing some content creators for trying to stream this game with their approval, by the way. We also see some more official responses regarding the Shrine controversy. And most damning of all, we're going to be looking at the gameplay and cutscenes that people are now sharing over the past 24 hours. And my God, they're as bad as you could possibly imagine, not just with buggy issues and things like that, but also some very woke stuff that you really won't believe until you see it. So let's begin somewhat in a chronological order, because there's been a lot that's happened over the past 2 days or so. I want to get you guys to understand the build-up that we're seeing before this release. So a couple days ago, the embargo for reviews was released, meaning the people had orders ahead of time. They can now release their official reviews of this game, and you can see the metascore of this is an 82, which is kind of just what people expected. It's kind of middle of the road, nothing great, nothing terrible, but you're going to see, if you look through the reviews, it's a giant hive mind. We saw this with Dragon Age the Veilguard as well. You can see all of these reviews from IGN, GameSpot, PC Gamer, and so on and so forth, all using the same language over and over again. A return to form, return to form, return to form, a return to greatness, return to form, so on and so forth. And that's not too surprising, because at this point, all these games journalists, they're just regurgitating the same stuff the guy before them said, right? If IGN's the first one that comes out with an article review, they basically just copy and paste that message in their own article review. And it goes on and on like a human centipede of games journalism, and you can see the absolute mess that it creates. But on top of that, look at some of the reviews, right? And are you supposed to trust these? So you have VG247, who gave this a 100, a perfect score. But then they start off the review, the first sentence, and they say, there are problems with Assassin's Creed Shadows, but still gave it a perfect score. I mean, are these people serious? And then it gets even worse, as pointed out here. You look at their review for Ghost of Tsushima, a 60. They gave that a 60, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, a 100, a perfect score. Yeah, that's why I don't trust any of these reviews at all. On top of that, around the same time the embargo was lifted, we had a situation with this VTuber named Olivia Monroe, who got permission. They got a sponsored stream opportunity for Assassin's Creed Shadows. They had direct permission from Ubisoft to stream early access of this game on Twitch. Well, how did that go? Well, unfortunately, a few minutes into that sponsored stream, she was banned. Ubisoft pulled the plug on this stream. Now, you're probably wondering, how did this happen? She had permission for this. Well, let's see what they had to say on Discord. There's a couple screenshots going around. She said, I got my stream time approved. I was emailed 5 minutes ago saying that I was in breach of the embargo, even though it was approved, and then boom, they got hit with a ban. On top of that, they explained further saying Ubisoft approved my time because they read it as 7 p.m., not 7 a.m. So they streamed, I believe, at 7 a.m., and Ubisoft thought they meant 7 p.m. So when they saw them go live early, according to their understanding, they decided to pull the plug on the stream and ban this individual, which is an absolute 100% indictment on Ubisoft. They messed up here. They were the ones who clearly messed up, and now this promoted, sponsored stream was a complete disaster. Luckily, about 5 hours later, the ban was removed because duh, but still, I'm pretty sure it's on the record for Twitch. So this whole situation is just an absolute mess. Another bad look for Ubisoft, who looked like they weren't doing their homework on this situation. But another thing people are talking a lot about is this right here. So this is a report saying Ubisoft has reportedly enlisted a team of lawyers to sue players who harass Assassin's Creed Shadows developers. And of course, what do they mean by harassment? A lot of people are interpreting that as criticism. Criticism might be on the chopping block for Ubisoft, but I think the answer to this is really simple. I don't think there's any reason to go after the devs, even on a critical level. A lot of people have remained focused on the game itself. There's a lot of people at Ubisoft working on this. It's not a situation where we have, like the usual suspects in other studios where you have one individual developer going on social media and saying wild stuff and then causing issue for the company. Really, people are just looking at Ubisoft and this game itself and saying there's a lot of inaccuracies, there's a lot of issues and controversies, and that's what people have been focusing on. So I don't think this is something that people should be too afraid of, but it's a bad look for Ubisoft, and I would just recommend leaving any of this alone, because in terms of the developers going after them in any sort of a harassment level, because they're itching to make a lawsuit right now. Clearly, they're trying very hard to set this up so they can catch someone. But just focus on the gameplay right now and focus on Ubisoft as a company, and I think everyone in this situation will be fine. But let's not just underplay the fact that they literally are hiring the bully hunters, okay? Not literally, but figuratively speaking here, they're hiring the bully hunters. And if you know about this whole situation from many years back, you understand why that's so funny. But Assassin's Creed Shadows on Twitter, they're getting ready, right? Despite all of this recent controversy, they're gearing up. They're ready for the release tomorrow. What else could happen? Oh, probably the most damning thing. Gameplay gets shared. Gameplay and cutscenes are being shared all over Twitter over the past 24 hours, and each one of them is just painful. Painful for many reasons. Some of them, the quality is just atrocious and looks like a lot of corner cutting by Ubisoft, but the cringe is unimaginable. Some of these scenes are so woke, it's actually insane. I never really thought it would be this much in terms of wokeness and virtue signaling in the game itself and in the cutscenes and things like that. But it's off the wall. You're not going to believe some of the stuff you're watching. So let's begin with this clip that's getting a lot of attention. This is the quality of some of the voice acting. Listen to how this NPC speaks.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
Mushrooms. The smell of dirt, grass, and rain.
The funny thing too is I don't even think really the Naoe voice sounds that great, but that NPC, like, are you kidding me? There's people accusing this of being AI because it's that bad. And honestly, I think you could pull a random person off the street and they would probably do a better job than that NPC. Like, that voice was absolutely painful. I mean, just like listen to this.
After a storm, mushrooms can too.
Are we being serious? This is a company that's probably sunk hundreds of millions of dollars into this game, and that's what some of the NPCs sound like. Totally inexcusable, but this image, it's burned into my brain already. I've only been introduced to it today, but it's already burned in my brain for many years to come. This is what Yasuke's up to in this game. This is the face Ubisoft is making when you're still buying this slop despite everything that's happening, okay? As it turns out, Yasuke is quite the player in feudal Japan. And in this game, he is he's doing a lot of romancing with everyone. He doesn't discriminate. Men, women, non-binaries, like, he is doing it all. Yes, I am not joking. Let's begin with this one right here. One of the possible gay romance arcs you can have with Yasuke in this game. You can see his loving eyes right here. This shot is just amazing.
You are more than worthy. And this moment we have shared will be my treasure.
Look at the love in his eyes right here. Yasuke is just such a a soft, tender lover in this game. But that's not all, right? Okay, you heard me mention non-binary. So about a month or two ago, there was a art book leaked on social media, and myself and many others covered this because, as pointed out by Madam Savvy here, we had this character named Ibuki, right? And in this description, they described this character with they pronouns. And myself and anyone else pointing this out, we were getting flack from a bunch of woke weirdos and activists basically saying we're making this up, right? Even on this tweet right here, to this day, there's still a proposed community note saying the they in the sentence refers to the Ronins and their habits, not Ibuku. They even spell the name wrong in the attempted note here. But yeah, as it always turns out, these people who were trying to tell us we're all wrong, well, they were the ones who are wrong, because this Ibuki character is in the game, and they are non-binary, and beyond that, they're also one of Yasuke's potential lovers. That's right. This scene's also been going viral all over Twitter. As you can see, the caption, "A black samurai in a relationship with a non-binary person." Get ready, the tension's gonna be very, very high right here.
I do not think I have ever seen you quite so tongue-tied.
Not yet, at least. I hope you aren't easily chilled. Do you think someone might see us?
Maybe.
Man, they have Yasuke bringing a non-binary out into the woods to mess around. Isn't there something kind of like offensive about that? Like hiding out in the woods? I don't know, man.
Do you care?
Not at all.
This is the shot that's going all over Twitter right now. This face, the way the non-binary samurai over here is looking at him, he looks like he's high. Like, this whole thing is just, it's incredible. Incredible work, Ubisoft. Amazing. Yep. Maybe, guys, if you need to like pause for a bit and cool down after that very enthralling scene, I understand. But as you can see, Yasuke has an interest in men and non-binary characters as well. And of course, he's a womanizer as well. Apparently sleeping with Oda Nobunaga's sister. Now, I'm not an expert in Japanese history, but I have a sinking suspicion that didn't happen. But here it is. So he doesn't discriminate. Like I said, he goes after women, men, they, thems. Nothing stops Yasuke, alright? He is an absolute player in this game. But yeah, I didn't expect all of this. Like, of course, there's like romance arcs in Creed games, but like, this is a little, it's a little interesting and a lot more woke than anyone thought. And again, they are saying that Yasuke is a historically accurate depiction. Like, can you imagine if Yasuke rose from the dead and saw his depiction in this game? How do you think he'd feel about this? Yeah, exactly. But, of course, we got a co-protagonist in this game, Naoe. She has to get on the action, right? Well, turns out she also has a gay romance scene in this game.
Lust is a journey of 1,000 steps that begins with a kiss.
Amazing. Also really good writing, like an incredible build up to that. But yeah, I mean, it's just love is in the air in Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's for sure. People are clowning on all this. It's so much. I mean, this is like Veilguard levels. And again, you know, this is a game in feudal Japan. Of course, there was some of this stuff going on in feudal Japan, but like to this degree and with these specific characters, in particular, Yasuke? I don't know, man. I mean, they literally try to check every single box in terms of diversity with these characters, and in particular, Yasuke. Now, of course, another thing people claimed was the outrage over the shrine incident in the game. So if you don't know, there was a clip going around where Yasuke can go into a shrine in the game that's based on real life counterparts. He can go in there and destroy it and kill people in there and all that stuff. Obviously, it's the player's choice, but some people in Japan were upset about this, especially people who operate those shrines, people who go there for religious purposes. They are offended by this. And it was something that was reported in an article about a month ago, and I reported on that, and many others did as well on YouTube, and we were told that we were basically lying about this, and that no one was upset about this shrine, and that the article, because it was made from a tabloid, it wasn't trustworthy, and we were all just making this up. Well, a few days ago, we talked about the official response from this member of the prefectural assembly here, and how he was talking with heads and priests from the shrines, and they're very, very upset, and they were demanding a government response in Japan. And it turns out that's exactly what's happening. Apparently, the Japanese National Diet is addressing this issue specifically. Okay, the highest forms of government here. They're talking about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. And obviously, they're not happy. Okay? And this is happening one day before release. One day. This is how cooked Ubisoft in this game is. It's actually insane that all of this is happening. And I might expand further on this because there's a lot of details coming out about this, and I just came across it before recording. And right now there's some contention about some of the translation, so I don't want to spread anything that might not be an accurate translation at this point. So I'm going to hold off on this aspect of the developing stories here involving this game. And if there's anything further, we might cover it tomorrow or maybe the next day. We'll see. But for now, I'm just letting you be aware that there is, in fact, discussions at the Japanese National Diet over this game, and how far that goes, we're going to have to wait and see. But also, one thing to point out here, day before release of a major Assassin's Creed game, Ubisoft stock today has dropped by 6%. Does this look like a company that's releasing the game that's going to save it? I don't really know, but overall, this is an absolute mess. And tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day. We're going to find out if Ubisoft's got the legs, if Assassin's Creed Shadows can convince enough normies and people who are not on the internet too much that this is a game worth the money. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to sell copies, as I always say. This game is going to sell millions of copies, but it's just a matter of how many million. Are they going to reach their own expectations for what they set out for this game to achieve? I don't think they're going to. And with what we're seeing in terms of the quality of the gameplay and what's going on, man, just doesn't look very appealing to a lot of people to get past all this controversy that they're already looking at when they identify this game. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.